Ancelotti to the retirement home.
There we landed.
So PSG now need a manager, and they've hired Fabian Hürzeler of all people. It's a bit of a surprise, and hopefully we can take advantage of PSG needing to adapt to a new style of play and push for the title. But first, some signings, and I went big.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
But after selling Islam Situni to Barcelona for 90 million, we do.
I think you have the facilities for that, big man.
And for good measure, I also sold Yassin Ayari to Sporting for 24 million, Lainawi to Alaves for 5.25, and finally Datro Fofana to Norwich for $1 million. And with those huge amounts of cash money, we brought in some huge players. Emmanuel Emega, last season's top scorer, joined us for just 34.5 million from Strasbourg, Christian Achu for 32 million from Manchester City, Aliou Sa for 25 million from Sporting, and finally Renato Sanchez, Nathan Ake, and Asan Ouedraogo joined on a free for 2.3 million and on loan respectively, with Okpe being amongst the favourites for both top scorer and top player, and us being 5th in the season preview. We'll look to provide our fans with a historic first league title. But before that, we lost 2-0 to PSG in the Trophée des Champions. João Sinho and Arda Güler, who's just moved there, scored their goals, and they still look like a tough side to beat. So we definitely have our work cut out for us. The first league game is finally here, and we demolish Lorient 4-0 as our new signing Omega got himself a hat-trick. And to top it off, Seruki scored this outrageous free kick as well. And the former didn't stop there, as he scored another 4 in the next game. We humiliated Monaco 6-0, as Omega has now got 7 goals in 2 games. This level of goal scoring is like a certain Norwegian. Now, with Nathan Ake joining us, you'd expect him to be one of the more experienced players, right? Well, look at what he did in his first game for us. He looks like an 8-year-old who's never played a game before. Thankfully though, we got a pen right before the break, which Okpe missed? What the fuck? 15 minutes into the second, Sa finally broke the deadlock for us and equalized. And right before the end, we put together a nice passing move finished off by Nantumbo to just about beat Metz 2-1. It's not all sunshine and rainbows though, as Okpe picked up a calf strain against Metz and is out for a month. One of the dullest games followed, a 1-0 win against Pau as Nantumbo scored. But the nice performances made a quick return, as we beat Omega's former team Strasbourg 3-0 with Nantumbo, Sa and Schouten with an own goal scoring our goals. And the good performances kept coming as well. We beat Lyon 3-1 as Nantumbo scored a brace and Malco scored the final one before we'd face Besiktas in our first UCL league phase game. The first real chance didn't come until the 58th actually, as El Amrani scored this. We then scored 2 late goals through Achu and Toumi to get a nice and relatively easy 3-0 win. The next UCL game against Freiburg was quite a dull affair. They hit the bar in the first half and then scored 15 minutes into the second. And the only chance we had was this free kick from Seruki, which hit the post. So we've somehow lost to Freiburg. Back to the league, things weren't a lot better there. Ungan Noah gave away a pen in the 29th, which Brewster scored. Straight from kickoff in the second half though, Namaso, who'd come on at half-time, played this brilliant pass through to Omega, who rounded the keeper and scored. And not even 2 minutes later, Namaso scored to give us the lead. 2 goals in 2 minutes, but we then conceded again, to Brewster again. And as Namaso absolutely skied this chance,
have it.
We only managed a 2-2 draw with Rams. It's our first dropped points in the league and it's a disappointing one. We then hit back with a 2-1 win over Lille with Nantumbo getting both goals, before disappointingly drawing 1-1 with Toulouse. And to make matters worse, Yusi got injured and is out for a month. Against Montpellier, we'd have to face them without both El Amrani and Souma, as they're on international duty for some reason. But that didn't faze us, as we came back from 1-0 down to win the game 3-2 as Toumi got a brace and Achu got the final one. And that means that after 10 games, we're in second. We're unbeaten and we're in second. We're 2 points behind PSG, who are actually outrageous this season, and it'll be insanely tough to get one over on them. Going back to the UCL, we've got Manchester City at home. We started incredibly. Marco scored this from Sa's free kick cross 2 minutes in. A woodwork hit for each team followed, as well as a mega missing the sitter, before we'd finally double our lead. Nantumbo scored with this brilliant finish in added time, but not even 10 minutes into the second, we conceded, as Oscar Bob scored this. And straight from kickoff, Bob's Norwegian friend Haaland scored. We've lost our 2-goal lead in as many minutes. But in the 88th, in the aftermath of a corner, Namaso scored to give us the win. An absolute mess of a goal, but I'll absolutely take it. Against Roma in the 4th UCL game, we lost 2-1 as they scored 2 really bad goals. I mean, our goal wasn't the best either, but they got 2. How's that fair? In the league though, we continued our good run of form. We beat Clermont easily 3-0 as Namaso, Okpe and Sanusi got 1 each, before we'd host PSG at Stade de Gobelin. It was an incredibly dull game, with only a single chance for each team. And we took ours, as Nantumbo scored this nice header from Marco's cross, and PSG failed to take their chance. Kangin Lee missed this big chance in added time, so we win 1-0 against PSG to give them their first loss of the season. And we've taken the lead of the league with that as well. After that dull game, a rollercoaster of emotions was next. Against Marseille, we went 1-0 down, came back to 2-1 up, and conceded again, all in the first 45 minutes. And in the 86th, Nganoa decided to push his man when Antwi clearly had control of the situation, so they got a pen, which Alexander scored. We did manage to score again though, such was the nature of this game, as Okpe scored this tap-in to save a 3-3 draw, but not a good performance at all. A positive though is that PSG also drew, so we still lead. Despite leading the league, I'm still not completely happy, as anything can happen. But we made sure to do our job, that's for sure. We won 2-1 against Nice with Namaso getting a goal, 3-0 against Nantes with Omega getting a brace, 2-0 against Lens with Namaso scoring a brace off the bench, and finally 3-1 against Rennes as we came back from 1-0 down with Okpe, Antwi with this banger, and Maku getting the 3 goals. And that win streak means we're in first. We're 3 points clear of PSG as they don't really mess up except for against us. As for the final 2 UCL league phase games before the break, we'd face Sturm Graz and Lazio. Before our game against the Austrian side, Okpe came into my office to have a chat. Now I thought he just wanted to ask for a new contract or something, but he blindsided me and complained about his playing time. Hey boss, I need to play more, it's not good for my development. What do you mean? I'm playing you week in, week out. No, I need more playing time. What? You want to die of fatigue? I need more playing time. Okay, I'll give you even more playing time then. And well, I did, even though I was already playing him every week. But he shut me up real quick. He scored 4. Yes, 4 against Sturm Graz to make it a 4-0 win. So I won't go against him again, I'll tell you that much. And against Lazio, we wasted a lot of chances. We did finally score though, in the 56th through Namaso. 20 minutes later though, Lazio got the softest pen I think I've ever seen. Sanusi barely touched Bakker, and Sternal scored the pen. So we draw 1-1 with Lazio in a very disappointing performance. Before going into our final 2 UCL league phase games, we played Lorient in the 18th league game. After Okpe had scored an offside goal where he was a mile off, they scored to take the lead. Right before the break though, Okpe scored an actual goal to equalize. But in the 83rd, Makengo put this out of his hat. How? So we lose 2-1 to Lorient. That's our first loss in the league against Lorient.
What are you doing? bloody mince pie defending. About as useful as a mince pie swimming through custard. Shite. Absolute shite.
A positive thing now though is that our stadium is fully expanded. So we have a capacity of just shy of 22,000. Before playing there, we have to go to North London and the Emirates. However, it scored twice in the first half, 2 tap-ins, to make it difficult for us. 5 minutes into the second, however, Ouedraogo scored. And in the 77th, I was certain we'd score, but Nantumbo hit the bar, and then he hit Raya's ass with the rebound. So we lose 2-1 to Arsenal, and it was a bit of the same against Barcelona. We conceded after 22 seconds. And again in the 16th. We reduced the arrears earlier this time though, but we couldn't get the equalizer. So we lose 2-1 to Barcelona as well. And that means we end up in 19th in the league phase. So we're through to the knockout playoff round at least. The next 4 games in the league, we win 2 and disappointingly draw 2. We win 3-1 against Pau despite being 10 men for over half the game. Draw 2-2 against Strasbourg as Noah had to save us in the 95th. Smash Lyon 4-0 as both Omega and Okpe got a brace. And finally draw 1-1 with Reims. And now we're heading into the UCL knockout playoff round, where we'll face Liverpool. That's a tough draw, but it turned out to not be that tough. We took the lead 5 minutes in through Okpe. Doubled it 25 minutes later through the same man, and scored another in the 41st to make it 3-0. And as nothing happened in the second half, we've got a 3-0 lead to take to Anfield. But we all know what happened to the last team who took a 3-0 lead to Anfield. Before the second leg, we came back from 1-0 down to win 5-2 as we scored 5 uninterrupted goals. But against Liverpool at Anfield, Osimhen gave the Reds the lead 21 minutes in. They kept the pressure up, but Ekra held them off for the rest of the half. And in the second half, it was our game. Okpe scored this in the 50th, and Namaso scored to give us the lead in the 77th. So we win 2-1 away at Anfield, and 5-1 on aggregate. What a win!
Sacked in the morning! You're getting sacked in the morning! Sacked in the morning! You're getting sacked in the morning!
Before the round of 16, we beat Monaco 2-0 as Archu of all people got a brace, and Toulouse 3-0 as Maku, Emega and Yusi got the goals. Which means that after 25 league games, we're still in first. We are tied on points with PSG now though, and we only lead by 4 goals on goal difference. In the round of 16, we're facing another English side, in Tottenham. And they're actually the holders of the Champions League, so it's a very difficult tie. And they showed us that in the first leg. We got absolutely smashed 3-0 as Matsubara got a brace and Dragoshin got the final one. We didn't even have a single chance, so we got humbled. And in the second leg, the same theme kept going. Semi Kiriksoy gave them the lead 5 minutes in, before Omega scored 20 minutes later to give us a glimmer of hope. But that hope got shattered not long after, as Pino scored this pen and this free kick. After 2 offside goals from Okpe, we finally scored an actual goal in the 71st, and another in the 87th. But it was obviously way too late, so we draw 3-3 in the second leg and lose 6-3 on aggregate because of a horrific first leg. Despite going out of the UCL, we didn't let that affect us in the league, as we came back from 1-0 down, like so many times before, to win 3-1 against Montpellier. You're probably wondering where the Coupe de France is, and well, here it comes. We beat Stade Plabenessoir 5-0 in the 9th round, Troyes 4-2 in the 10th, and Lens 6-0 in the 11th to make it to the quarters. And there we'll face Saint-Étienne, and that is because they managed to knock out PSG. That is incredible, but now we need to be wary. And we were, as we beat them 3-2 in what was a relatively comfortable game, as Okpei got himself a brace. So we're through to the semis for the third time in a row. Before going to the Parc des Princes, we absolutely humiliated Clermont 6-1. Both Okpei and Omega got a brace, and will look to take that goal-scoring form to PSG. This is the arguable title decider, as both us and PSG seem to not be dropping points against anyone really. Both Colomwani and Arda Güler scored an offside goal in the first half, and in the second, Omega hit the bar with his long shots. In the 77th minute, their striker Barbet tried playing the ball back to his goalie, but he didn't reach it. So Namaso picked up the loose pass and scored on a wide open goal, as their goalie was miles off his line. So we win 1-0 against PSG to complete the double over them in the league this season. Such an important win, and we now have a 3-point gap over them.
Jesus Christ, great.
But that gap came down to just 1 point after the next game. We somehow managed to draw to Marseille again. This time a 2-2 draw, as we managed to lose our 2-0 lead in 7 minutes. We then got back on the horse by beating Nice 3-0 as Maku, Omega and Okpei got the goals. So with 4 games to go, we're still leading, only by a single point though. So we need to keep winning our games in order to finally pip PSG to the title. Before the title run-in though, we've got Rennes in the Coupe de France semi-final. Okpei missed 2 huge chances in the opening 11 minutes, before finally scoring in the 19th. Omega doubled our lead just 4 minutes later. But our main summer transfer target, Salaheddine Seba, then scored twice in 4 minutes to make it all level again. And as nothing happened in the second half, it's going to pens. So Kanye is up first for Rennes, and he scores. MacLeod is our first, and he scores. Fabio Silva also scores. Vidraogo is up next for us, and he misses. Fagioli then scored this banging pen, before Namaso scored for us, and likewise for Iriart. And that means that Seruki has to score for us. And he does score, but now Ekra has to save. And he does save it! Okpei now has to score to make it go to sudden death. And he does! Seydou then scored for Rennes to put all the pressure on Yassine El Amrani. He has to score. And he misses. So we're out of the Coupe de France for the first time since season 5.
Shoo! It's missed. Shit. I thought he put it in the bottom corner. It's missed.
Now back to the league for the 4 most important games in our history. We start well, as we beat Nantes 1-0 with Okpei scoring the only goal in this delightful way. We then smashed Lens, quite undeservedly actually, as we scored 4 from less XG than them, and they only scored 1. Either way, Omega got himself a hat-trick to take us just 2 games away from the title. Before our second to last game, we were agreed an initial transfer for Salaheddine Seba, Rennes' star player. And we've done so right before our league game against exactly Rennes. Now that is a new way of disturbing the opposition camp. And it clearly worked, as we smashed them 5-0 with Omega getting himself another 2 goals. And after he saw us thump his team 5-0, Salaheddine Seba has now agreed to join us for 70 million. If you can't beat them, join them. And now it's time for the title decider. We're facing already relegated last place Metz away, while PSG are facing Toulouse at home. So both teams are expected to win, but you never know. We started in the best way possible, as Toumi scored this header after 3 minutes. Okpei then doubled it. And Toumi got our third right before the break. And to top it off, Emega scored the 4th to make it a 4-1 win and secure us our very first Ligue 1 title. We've finally done it. We're the first team to take the Ligue 1 title from PSG since 2021. That's 10 years. Well, we might have won Ligue 1, but can we take it a step further and take down the entirety of Europe using only Africans? Well, we'll see, won't we?